Okay, I think we may have made help than walking down the street with a selfie stick. Hey guys, today is September 1st, 2020. Today kicks off National Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. Depending on how you found this video, you may know my wife Maud and I, we lost our son, Sam, on January 23rd, 2020. To his third relapse of neuroblastoma. For the last 6 months of Sam's treatment, he and I were traveling back and forth from our home in Dallas, Texas, to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City. We stayed at the Ronald McDonald House on 73rd Street, and almost every day, rain or shine, we would have to make the walk from Ronald McDonald House to the cancer center. I said have to. We chose to. There was a shuttle. But he and I would make that walk every day, rain or shine. I mapped it out this morning. It was 3/4 of a mile. Not terrible. My plan here is to make this walk every day this month, 3/4 of a mile in memory of my son, and to help raise some awareness. I probably should have scripted it first or something, because I don't even know how long it takes to walk 3/4 of a mile or what I'm going to talk about for 3/4 of a mile. But we'll figure that out. I guess I'll start by talking about Sam and our time in New York. It's easy. When we would make this walk, we started in New York City in August. So August in New York is almost as hot as Dallas in New York. Sometimes it felt even a little bit hotter. And so there were some days where he was able to walk it, and he'd hold my hand and complain about how hot it was. Other days, we'd push him in a stroller because he wasn't up to walking it either before or after the treatment that he had. And so I'd push him in a stroller. I think I'll save the story of getting the stroller wheels caught and dumping him one time for another day, so you'll have to tune in later. But other days, for the entire 3/4 of a mile, I'd carry him. He didn't weigh a whole lot. He'd lost a lot of weight through all the various treatments, so it wasn't too hard, and he would cling to me like a little baby monkey. I can remember doing that with the backpack that I had on that weighed more than he did, full of medical supplies, iPads, laptops, whatever it took to kind of get us through a day. But the backpack on the back and him on the front, sometimes with an umbrella. Never with a selfie stick, though. This is new to me. I'm going to be self-conscious about it the entire time. So this morning, something else interesting happened. My wife at 7 a.m. this morning announced a fundraiser for Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month that we're working on. A beautiful organization by the name of Alex's Lemonade Stand was hugely supportive of us during Sam's fight. They helped us with airline tickets to get to and from New York City. They helped by sending Sam stuff to help keep him happy. My daughter was and is enrolled in what they call their Super Sibs program, which is geared towards siblings of children fighting cancers. And they have a fundraiser going on called their Million Mile March, I think is the name of it. And we decided it would be a good idea as a family to try to raise funds for Alex's Lemonade Stand to give a little back. Some of you guys know we've done lemonade stands for them in the past. So the goal was to try to raise $1,000 for Alex's Lemonade Stand during the month of September. As a family, we committed to walking 100 miles over the month together. Walking, moving, bicycling. I'll be on the bike some later. No selfie stick on the bike. So that was our goal for the month of September, $1,000 raised. and some awareness, right? That's goal number one. That was posted at 7 a.m. with our goals on the Facebook group for Sam and his story. Before 10 a.m., by my math, 9:57, you guys had donated more than the entire $1,000 goal for the month. Which, you know, I knew we were going to blow through $1,000, but on the very first day, in the first 3 hours, in the middle of a pandemic, you guys just blow me away every single time. So we're gonna find a way to make that work. But it got me to thinking about why. With all of the, we raise money for pediatric cancer because compared to a lot of other things out there, the funding just isn't there. And how is it that we can raise money so quickly, and as a whole, the entire topic is just kind of overlooked sometimes? And what I realized was, when you talk to people about pediatric cancer, you don't have any problem raising funds from the people who have lost somebody. And you guys lost Sam too. And so it's really easy to tap into those emotions and feel that and throw out $10 here, $20. We had some people who did some really big donations already, so thank you. The people who have already lost somebody are not what's missing from this. That's not the problem. It's the awareness overall, I think. And so in an effort to raise the bar, we're gonna find some ways. $1,000 is not enough. I know it's wonderful, and I'm thankful, but I'm gonna ask you guys I'm gonna ask for more, not more money. I'm gonna ask for some commitment from those of you who are willing. We're gonna find a way to raise awareness, because awareness is what this is about. The funds are good and the research is good. It's awareness that we're trying to raise. So we're gonna live stream, we're gonna Facebook Live these little walks for 30 days in a row. And I have a feeling that we're gonna have to get into some of the conversation that's a little bit tougher to really pull some people in. So I wanna ask you guys for a couple things. I'm gonna need subject matter for this. So I guess we could do kind of an ask me anything. If you guys wanna send me via Facebook Messenger any questions that you have, they're all open, guys. Anybody who's spent about 5 minutes with me, you guys know that I'm an open book and I'll talk about Sam all day. So if you guys have questions about what we went through, about the science, about neuroblastoma as a cancer, about any of the organizations that we were involved with, we'll do a video. We'll definitely highlight, we got 30 of these, so we'll definitely highlight an organization on kind of each of these. But yeah, help me with subject matter. Share this, share the hell out of it. Get it to everybody that you can. Let them know that, hey, there's a dad with very, very little talent walking around East Dallas with a selfie stick, just trying to raise a little bit of awareness for this. Let's see if we can get the message out. Let's see if we can push this a little bit further. I can't talk to anybody about Sam without hearing something to the effect of, he touched so many lives. And that is undoubtedly true. Like, I'm sure we'll spend another time talking about him and who he was. That one's easy. He was a special kid among special kids. But let's see how many more we can do. Let's see if we can get past first and second degree. We've even got some third and fourth degree people out here who heard Sam's story from someone who heard Sam's story, who heard it from someone they were close to. We need more of those. And we need $5 or $10 and a story to be spread out. And I think that's how we can kind of make a difference in this. All right, we're not at 3/4 of a mile yet. And I'm running out, and the viewership is the highest that it's ever been, all whopping 13. It's got to be 13, but I can't see who's watching because I don't know how Facebook Live works. But I'm assuming it's 13 people who know me and are just kind of shaking their heads. But you know, we're doing this in memory of Sam, but also, you know, I'm still a member of all those Facebook groups that we were a part of. When you're a parent going through this, you sign up for all of them. Everything that might have an answer or something that you haven't tried or some kind of support. And I still follow those groups, and we have friends who are still deep in this fight. And for those friends, and for the ones who aren't even in the fight yet, but it's coming, you know, I would love for there to be a way for a kid to get one less poke than my son had to get. To go through a treatment that is one day less because we learned how to make it more efficient. That has one fewer side effects. You know, I don't have statistics and things like that. I probably should get some for our next talk tomorrow or later or whatever. But I know that this is just, it's not an easy road, and anything we can do to make it easier for the kids, for the parents, for the caretakers, even for the doctors and nursing staff. If you think that those medical professionals can impartially hang out and work on these kids and don't form attachments and don't cry with us when things aren't going the way that we want them to, that's just not the case, guys. There's so much pain associated with this stuff, physical and emotional, and you know, we're never gonna get rid of it all. But if we can take off one piece, that changes a lot of things. It's funny, what just popped into my head was we had a really close friend, Carrie, who a couple of times when Sam was sick and we were in the hospital, she would bring us smoothies. And she didn't ask. She would just call and say, hey, I'm downstairs with some smoothies. Do you want me to bring them up, or can you come down and get them? And that little thing, that one little thing, would change my entire day. So many of you guys, I'm not gonna be able to list everyone who ever did anything for us. It doesn't matter how many times I walk 3/4 of a mile, I'll never get there. But doing one little thing to make life easier for a family that's facing this is a huge difference. So let's figure out how we're gonna do that. What else? Surprisingly, I miss New York City. Most of you know I'm a Southern boy. I grew up in South Alabama on the beach. So not only in the South at the slow Southern pace, but like on island time. And so my first couple trips in New York City, I was miserable. The speed at which everybody was trying to move was like dissonant in my head. Hi. And it took a few visits and familiarizing myself with the parts of town that we were in and meeting some amazing people. But my mind was kind of changed about New York City. There is a feeling there of energy that you just kind of soak up. And I think, I'll tell you what, guys, Sam loved New York. He never liked the reasons that we had to be there. And every once in a while when we got to go to some event, I had to drag him. But, you know, we'd get out to a Mets game. We made it to a Rangers game. But his favorite thing was just walking on the sidewalks in New York City, especially going out into Central Park. Down, I think it's at the southern end of the park, there's a big, afternoon guys, there's a big rock called Umpire Rock, and he would go out there and he would climb it. And I'd see faces. It's always fun to take your little bald cancer kid places and watch them do things, because you see those other parents that are like, oh, he's climbing a rock. But no, he'd go out there and he'd climb, and a couple times Emmy got to come up, and we'd go out there to Central Park and we'd walk, and it was a haul. I mean, it was a couple mile walk to get down there. And he'd get out there and he'd climb that rock, and the look on his face when he got to the top, because I'd stay at the bottom, and he'd look down at me and just smile and just beam to be up there on top of that. There were a lot of memories we made there. Sorry. I almost made it. I'm half a block from the house. I thought I might be able to make it through this. But no, we made a lot of memories in that city. And, you know, I don't know if I missed the city or I missed the times that we had there, but probably a little bit of both. I'll do my best to make these a little less rambling in the future, so that you guys don't have to just sit here and listen to me go on and on about nothing. You guys can help. If you're just tuning in, I did ask, send me topics, things you're curious about, questions. We're walking to raise money for Alex's Lemonade Stand and awareness for pediatric cancer. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. One of the other things, I'm wearing my gold ribbon. I'm looking in the sun, so I can't tell if you guys can see my gold ribbon or not. I'm wearing my gold ribbon all this month. And then I'm going to print out some little cards to put in my pocket of some of these organizations that people have done stuff for us, so that I can hand those out when people ask me, right? The ribbons are there not just to wear a ribbon to show support. The ribbons are there so someone will ask me and I can tell them. I'll try to do it without preaching. Some of you also know that I'm not allowed to drive and talk at the same time because I get distracted. I'm less than a block from my house, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly where I am right now. I think home is straight ahead. Yeah, things have grown up over the summer. Where do I go from here? Part of me wants to go to saying thank you to a bunch of people, but if I start down that list, I'm going to need another few miles to get even started on stuff. I guess I can ask again for those of you who are just kind of popping in. You know, we're doing this to raise awareness, so if you can share the Alex's Lemonade Stand page that Maud set up, that would be wonderful. I think I was supposed to go another block. Yeah, well, I don't think... I mapped this out before I left the house. It's only 3/4 of a mile. It had 1, 2, 3, 4 turns total, and I'm totally on the wrong path. So I don't know if we made 3/4 of a mile today. But somewhere Sam's probably laughing, because I always made him walk further than I said I was going to, too. I would tell him we're just going to go one more block to see what's around this corner. And so we'd go one more block, and there was nothing interesting around that corner. So we'd go one more block. Or we'd walk home, and I'd make him walk past the house and keep going. Try not to get hit by a car, too. That would be... That, you don't talk about tragic. That would be tragic. Okay, so I'm coming into the home stretch here, so I'm going to sum it up. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. We need to raise awareness, and we need to raise funds. Currently, we're raising funds for an organization called Alex's Lemonade Stand, which helps children with pediatric cancers and family with pediatric cancer kids all over the United States, maybe the world. I'll check the website later on. For us personally, the biggest help was keeping Emmy engaged through the Super Sibs program, which is for kids whose siblings are fighting cancer. They also helped us with airline tickets. I'm trying to get y'all out of the sun. Which we had a lot of help financially through Sam's fight, but we couldn't have done that, made all the airline tickets and stuff without them. So it's just an amazing organization. What else? All right, guys, I'm coming up on it. This is the house right here. So I want to thank you for hanging out. I promise that we will get some ways to make this more engaging, because we're going to do this 30 times. So thank you. We love you. Thank you for everything you've ever done for our family. Thank you for everything you're going to do this September to help other families of kids who are fighting pediatric cancer. Let's make it one step easier for them, guys.